The champagne flute shattered against the marble floor of the upscale Chicago ballroom, sending shards skittering like accusations across the room. I stood frozen, lips still tingling from the forbidden kiss that Jake, my fiancé Emily's brother, had just pressed upon me in the shadowed alcove behind the rehearsal dinner stage. As the room fell silent, Emily's eyes locked onto mine, her face twisting from joy to betrayal in an instant that would forever fracture our carefully constructed lives. I had always known deep down that my engagement to Emily was a facade, a desperate attempt to bury the truth about myself in the heart of conservative Midwestern suburbia. Growing up in Naperville, Illinois, where church steeples outnumbered coffee shops and family values were etched into every backyard barbecue, I, Dwayne Thompson, had learned early to hide my attractions. My parents, devout Baptists who ran the local hardware store, had raised me on stories of moral fortitude and the perils of deviation. A man's path is straight and narrow, my father would say, his calloused hands gripping the Bible like a lifeline. So when I met Emily in college at Northwestern, her bright smile and unwavering faith seemed like the perfect shield against the storm raging inside me. But Jake? He was the wild card, the one who had always seen through my pretense. 2 years older than Emily, he had returned from his tour in the Marines looking like a man forged in fire, tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes that pierced like shrapnel. We had bonded over late-night talks during family holidays, sharing laughs about military life and my mundane job as a high school history teacher. Yet beneath those conversations lurked an undercurrent, a magnetic pull that I fought with every fiber of my being. "You're not like the others, Dwayne," he'd whispered once, his hand lingering too long on my shoulder. I had dismissed it as brotherly affection, but now, with his lips on mine, the dam had broken. The aftermath was chaos. Emily stormed over, her white dress swirling like a ghost. "What the hell is this?" she hissed, her voice low but venomous, aware of the 100 guests milling about. Jake stepped back, his face a mask of defiance mixed with regret. "Emily, we need to talk," he stammered, but she slapped him hard, the sound echoing like a gunshot. My parents, seated at the head table, rose in confusion, my mother's hand clutching her pearls. "Dwayne, what's going on?" she called, her voice trembling. I couldn't speak. My mind raced through the implications. The wedding tomorrow, the house we had just bought in the suburbs, the life I had built on lies. Jake grabbed my arm, pulling me aside. "I couldn't let you marry her without knowing," he said urgently. "I've loved you since the day I met you. This isn't just some fling. It's real." His words hit like a punch, stirring something dormant in me, but also igniting terror. How could I upend everything for this? For him? As the night unraveled, accusations flew. Emily demanded answers, her tears smearing her mascara. "How long has this been going on?" she screamed in the private room we retreated to. Nothing had happened before tonight, I insisted, but the doubt in her eyes was palpable. Jake confessed his feelings openly, admitting he had struggled with his own identity during his deployment, hiding it from a military that still whispered about "don't ask, don't tell" even after its repeal. "I came back broken, he said, his voice cracking. "And Dwayne, he made me feel whole." My father burst in, his face red with fury. "This is unnatural. You're throwing away your future for what? Some perversion." He turned to me, disappointment etching deep lines. "We raised you better than this, son." The words stung, reopening old wounds from my teenage years when I had first questioned my desires, praying nightly for them to vanish. But they hadn't, and now they threatened to destroy the family tapestry. By midnight, the rehearsal dinner had dissolved into whispers and early exits. Emily called off the wedding, her ring clattering onto the table like a final verdict. Jake and I left separately, the weight of our choices pressing down. I drove home alone, the city lights blurring through unshed tears. What had I done? Or rather, what hadn't I done sooner? The kiss wasn't just a moment of passion. It was the spark that ignited a firestorm of self-reckoning. The next morning, my phone buzzed incessantly. Texts from relatives, voicemails from friends, shock, support, condemnation. My mother called, her voice soft but firm. Come home, Dwayne. We need to pray about this. But prayer had never fixed me before. Jake texted, meet me at the lake. We have to figure this out. I hesitated, fingers hovering over the screen. Going would mean embracing the unknown, risking ostracism from the only world I knew. Staying meant suffocating in denial. I went. The lake in Millennium Park shimmered under the autumn sun, a deceptive calm. Jake waited on a bench, his military posture slumped. I'm sorry for the timing, he said as I sat, but I couldn't watch you live a lie. We talked for hours, unraveling our shared fears. His of rejection in a macho world, mine of losing family approval. Society's changing, he argued, but not fast enough for people like us. Yet in that conversation, a fragile hope emerged, tempered by the reality of the fallout. Back home, the confrontation with my parents was brutal. You're choosing sin over salvation, my father thundered, quoting scriptures like weapons. My mother wept, begging me to seek counseling. It's just a phase, she pleaded. But it wasn't. Admitting my truth to them felt like shedding skin, painful but liberating. I love Jake, I said finally, the words foreign yet freeing. Their silence was deafening, a chasm opening between us. As days turned to weeks, the ripples spread. Emily, heartbroken, moved out, her parting words a mix of anger and sorrow. I thought we were building a life, Dwayne. How could you not tell me? Jake faced his own battles. Friends from the Marines distancing themselves, whispers of fairy behind his back. We navigated our budding relationship in secrecy at first, stolen moments in coffee shops and late-night drives, each one a defiance against the norms that bound us. But secrecy bred paranoia. One evening, at a bar in Boys Town, we were spotted by a family friend. The news traveled fast, amplifying the drama. My school principal called me in, concerned about personal matters affecting professional conduct. Though laws protected me, the subtle discrimination lingered. Parents requesting their kids switch classes, colleagues avoiding eye contact. The price of authenticity was steep, each decision a gamble on our futures. Yet amid the turmoil, Jake and I grew closer, our bond forged in adversity. We're in this together, he vowed, his hand in mine. But doubts crept in. Was this worth the pain inflicted on others? The moral quandary gnawed at me. Had my silence been a betrayal to Emily, or a survival tactic in a judgmental world? The scandal simmered like a pot ready to boil over, and soon it did. Weeks after the rehearsal dinner debacle, I found myself in the principal's office at Lincoln High School, where I taught U.S. history to wide-eyed sophomores. Mr. Hargrove, a stern man with a penchant for outdated ties, leaned forward, his voice laced with feigned concern. Dwayne, we've had complaints from parents. They say your personal life is distracting from the curriculum. He didn't elaborate, but the implication was clear. My newfound openness about being gay was the issue. I defended myself calmly, citing district policies on non-discrimination. My private life doesn't enter the classroom, I said, though inside I seethed. Walking out, I felt the stares in the hallway, the whispers that followed like shadows. Teaching had been my passion, a way to shape minds against the prejudices I had endured. Now it felt like a battlefield. Jake's world wasn't faring better. Back at his job as a security consultant in downtown Chicago, rumors had spread. A colleague, an ex-Marine buddy, confronted him in the break room. Heard about you and your sister's fiancé. That's messed up, man. We don't need that kind of distraction here. Jake held his ground, but the isolation grew. It's like I'm back in the barracks, hiding, he confided to me that night, his head on my shoulder as we sat on my apartment couch. Our relationship, once a spark, was now a flame we nurtured carefully, but the winds of judgment threatened to extinguish it. Family ties strained further. My parents invited me to dinner, a tense affair in their cozy kitchen smelling of pot roast and unspoken resentment. We love you, Dwayne, my mother said, passing the potatoes. But we can't condone this lifestyle. My father nodded, adding, the Bible is clear. You need to repent. I pushed back, my voice steady. This isn't a choice, Dad. It's who I am. The argument escalated, voices rising until I stormed out, the door slamming like a final judgment. That night, alone in my bed, I questioned everything. Was coming out a selfish act or a necessary one? Emily's pain manifested in unexpected ways. She called me late one evening, her voice slurred from wine. I hate you for this, Dwayne, but I hate Jake more. He's my brother. How could he? We talked for hours, peeling back layers of hurt. She admitted suspecting something but ignoring it for the dream wedding. I wanted the perfect life, she sobbed. Her confession humanized her anger, but it also highlighted the collateral damage of my deception. Jake and I decided to seek therapy, a neutral ground to unpack our baggage. Dr. Ellis, a kind woman with a no-nonsense approach, listened as we spilled our stories. You're both carrying guilt, she observed. Dwayne, for living a lie. Jake, for the timing of his truth. Sessions revealed Jake's PTSD from deployment, how suppressing his sexuality had amplified his trauma. I kissed you because I couldn't hold it in anymore, he admitted, tears in his eyes. For me, it unearthed childhood memories of bullying, the fear that had molded my facade. But therapy couldn't shield us from external storms. At a family gathering, my cousin's birthday, tensions exploded. Emily showed up unannounced, confronting Jake in front of everyone. You stole him from me, she yelled, her face flushed. Aunts and uncles gasped, the room dividing into factions. Some supportive, others appalled. My father pulled me aside. See what you've caused? This family's falling apart. The accusation landed hard, forcing me to defend our love.
No, Dad.
Secrets did this. Honesty is rebuilding it. In the fallout, Jake lost a contract at work, his boss citing client concerns. Unemployment hit him hard, eroding his confidence. Maybe I should have kept quiet, he muttered one rainy afternoon, staring out the window. I reassured him, but doubt lingered. Our decisions had costs, financial, emotional, relational. Yet in quiet moments, like walking hand in hand through Grant Park, we found solace. This is worth it, I whispered, our fingers intertwined. Society's gaze intensified. A local news blog picked up the story, sensationalizing it as wedding wrecked by brother's gay affair. Comments poured in. Supportive allies, vicious trolls. Disgusting, one read. They deserve the misery. The exposure amplified our isolation, but also drew unexpected allies. A former student emailed, Mr. Thompson, you're brave. It helps knowing I'm not alone. That message reignited my purpose. As winter blanketed Chicago, Jake proposed a bold move. Relocate to San Francisco, where acceptance was the norm. We can start fresh, he urged. The idea tempted me. Escape the judgment, build a life unencumbered. But it meant leaving my job, my family, everything familiar. What about Emily? I asked. And my parents? The decision loomed, a moral crossroads. Prioritize our happiness or mend the bridges we'd burned. I chose to stay, at least for now. We fight here, I told Jake. Running feels like defeat. He agreed reluctantly, but the strain showed. One night, after a heated argument about finances, he stormed out. Hours later, he returned, apologetic.
I'm scared, Dwayne.
What if this breaks us? His vulnerability mirrored mine, reminding us that love demanded sacrifice. The turning point came at Christmas. My parents hosted, the atmosphere thick with unease. Emily attended, a fragile truce in place. Over turkey, conversations tiptoed around the elephant. Then Jake spoke up. I know I've hurt everyone, but loving Dwayne isn't wrong. Hiding it was. Silence fell. Then my mother reached for his hand. We're trying to understand. It wasn't acceptance, but a crack in the wall. Yet progress was slow. My father remained distant, his disapproval a constant undercurrent. At school, a parent petition circulated, demanding my removal. I fought it through union channels, emerging victorious but exhausted. Each victory came with scars, each choice a trade-off. In therapy, Dr. Ellis challenged us, what price are you willing to pay for authenticity? For me, it was strained family bonds. For Jake, professional setbacks. But the alternative, suppression, was unbearable. Our relationship deepened, built on resilience rather than romance alone. As spring approached, hints of healing emerged. Emily started dating again, her calls less accusatory. I forgive you, Dwayne. But Jake? That's harder. Sibling rifts mended slowly, conversations turning from blame to understanding. The mending was fragile, like ice on a thawing lake, and one wrong step could plunge us under. By spring, Jake had found freelance work, piecing together security gigs, but the instability gnawed at him. I feel like a failure, he confessed during a walk along Lake Michigan. The wind whipping our words away. I squeezed his hand. You're not. We're building something real. But his eyes held shadows, remnants of battles fought overseas and at home. My teaching career hung by a thread. After the petition failed, subtle sabotage began. Anonymous notes in my mailbox. Fag, scrawled on my car. I reported it, but investigations stalled. It's just kids, the principal dismissed. The stress manifested in sleepless nights, my mind replaying scenarios. Quit or endure. Quitting felt like surrender to bigotry. Enduring meant daily armor against hate. Family dynamics shifted uneasily. A breakthrough came when my mother invited us for coffee. Alone with her, away from my father's stern gaze, she opened up. I read some books, Dwayne, about people like you. Her effort touched me, but the conversation turned poignant. Your father struggles. He fears for your soul. I nodded, understanding the generational chasm. Give him time, Mom. Jake's relationship with Emily remained fractured. They met for lunch, a tentative olive branch. Why him? She asked, hurt lingering. Jake explained his journey. Suppressed feelings in the military, the fear of discharge. I didn't choose this to hurt you. It just is. She listened, but forgiveness was a process, not a switch. Society's pressures mounted. At a pride event in June, we marched tentatively, rainbow flags a bold declaration. Friends cheered, but a counter-protester shouted slurs, reminding us of the divide. Is this safe? Jake whispered, his military instincts on alert. The event empowered us, connecting with others' stories of struggle and triumph. Yet returning home, the high faded into reality's grind. A crisis hit when Jake's old Marine unit planned a reunion. Should I go? He pondered. Attending meant facing judgment. Skipping meant isolation. He went, with me by his side. The evening started cordially, beers flowing, war stories shared. Then, a burly vet clapped Jake on the back. Heard you're batting for the other team now. That why you left the Corps? Laughter erupted, masking discomfort. Jake tensed, then smiled thinly. Yeah, and I'm happier for it. The room quieted, some nodding respectfully, others averting eyes. We left early, the encounter a mixed victory. Back in Chicago, my father's health scare. A minor heart episode forced a reckoning. At the hospital, he looked frail, his bluster gone. Dwayne, he said weakly. I don't understand, but I don't want to lose you. Tears welled as I held his hand. You won't, Dad, but you have to accept me. It wasn't resolution, but a start. The incident humanized him, revealing fears rooted in love, misguided though they were. Emily's evolution surprised us. She joined a support group for those affected by coming-out stories, sharing her betrayal. It helped me see it wasn't about me, she told Jake over dinner. Sibling bonds, though scarred, began to heal. I miss my brother, she admitted. Jake hugged her, the first since the kiss. But healing brought new conflicts. My job security waned when a school board member, a conservative ally of my father, pushed for family values, curriculum changes. We can't have teachers promoting alternative lifestyles, he argued at a meeting. I spoke out, my voice shaking. I'm teaching history, not my life. But hiding who I am teaches kids shame. The board sided against him, but the battle drained me. Jake proposed again, move west. San Francisco calls. No more fighting every day. The allure grew, especially after a hate-filled email threatened violence. What if someone acts on it? I worried. The decision weighed heavy. Stay an advocate or flee for peace. Morality clashed. Abandoning the fight felt cowardly, but self-preservation beckoned. We compromised on a trial visit. Flying to California, the freedom was intoxicating. Couples like us everywhere, no stares. This could be us, Jake said, kissing me publicly without fear. But guilt nagged. Leaving family behind, especially with Dad's health. Returning, reality crashed. At school, a student came out to me seeking advice. How do you deal with the hate? He asked. Mentoring him reaffirmed my purpose. You face it head-on, I replied, though my resolve wavered. Tensions peaked at a family barbecue. My father, recovering, tried small talk with Jake. Tell me about the Marines. It was awkward but progress. Then, an uncle spewed vitriol. This gay stuff is ruining America. Jake retorted sharply. No, ignorance is. The argument escalated, dividing the yard. I mediated, exhausted. Enough. We're family. Act like it. That night, Jake and I argued fiercely. I can't keep doing this, he said. The constant battles are killing me. His words echoed my fears. Was our love strong enough to withstand perpetual siege? In therapy, we dissected it. Relationships thrive on mutual support, Dr. Ellis said. But external pressures test limits. We recommitted, but cracks showed. Jake withdrew, spending evenings alone. I buried myself in work, grading papers late. A betrayal blindsided me. Emily, in a moment of lingering resentment, confided in a mutual friend who spread gossip online. Dwayne stole my fiancé with my own brother. The post went viral locally, reigniting scrutiny. Hurt, I confronted her. Why? She apologized tearfully. I relapsed into anger.
I'm sorry.
The incident underscored trust's fragility. As summer waned, we faced a crossroads. Jake landed a job offer in Seattle, better pay, inclusive environment. Come with me, he pleaded. The choice. Follow love or anchor to roots. I agonized, weighing damages, family estrangement versus personal fulfillment. The decision crystallized in a storm of emotions, as if the universe conspired to force my hand. Jake's Seattle offer came with a deadline, and as days ticked down, our apartment felt like a pressure cooker. I need you there, Dwayne, he said one evening, packing a suitcase for a site visit. His eyes pleaded, but beneath lurked ultimatum. I can't keep living half a life here. I understood. Chicago's grind had worn us thin, yet roots ran deep. My parents' post-heart scare had softened marginally. Dad even asked about Jake's job hunt, a olive branch. He's a good man, he conceded once, though doctrine still clashed with acceptance. Mom sent care packages, subtle signals of love. Uprooting meant widening the gap, perhaps irreparably. At school, the atmosphere improved slightly. The hateful notes ceased after a district investigation, and supportive colleagues rallied. A diversity workshop I led sparked dialogue, students sharing stories. You inspired me, Mr. Thompson, one said. Leaving felt like abandoning them mid-battle. Emily weighed in unexpectedly. Over coffee, she urged, go if it makes you happy. I've seen how this city suffocates you. Her growth astonished me. From victim to ally. Jake needs this, and you deserve peace. Her words stirred conflict. Was staying selfless or stubborn? The moral maze deepened. Society preached perseverance. But at what cost? Jake's PTSD flared under stress, nightmares returning. I dream of explosions, but now mixed with judgment, he shared. Protecting him meant prioritizing us over others. A selfish calculus? I sought solitude in the park where we'd first talked post-kiss. Memories flooded. Hope amid chaos. A stranger approached, recognizing me from the blog. Your story helped my son come out. Thank you. The encounter reinforced impact. Staying could change minds, but leaving might preserve sanity. Jake returned from Seattle energized. It's vibrant, Dwayne. No hiding. He described walks on the waterfront, open affection. Temptation surged, but fear anchored me. What about family? I countered. He sighed. They'll visit. Or not. We can't live for them. The argument that night was raw. You're choosing fear over us, he accused. No responsibility. I shot back. Words wounded, regrets immediate. He slept on the couch, distance growing. Therapy intervened. Dr. Ellis probed. What's the real fear, Dwayne? Truth emerged. Abandonment issues from childhood, amplified by coming out. Losing family again terrifies me. Jake softened. I'm not asking you to lose them. Just build with me. Compromise floated. Long distance? But that felt like limbo. Family intervention came via Mom's call. Your father wants to talk. At dinner, Dad surprised me. I've been praying, son. God loves all. Maybe I was wrong. Tears flowed, his mine. Stay or go, we're family. The shift, though tentative, lightened my burden. Yet Jake's deadline loomed. Decide soon, he said gently. I weighed pros. New start, less hate. Cons. Severed ties unknown. Ethics tangled. Betray self or others. A student crisis tipped scales. A teen, bullied for being gay, attempted suicide. Visiting him, I saw my younger self. You matter, I told him. His parents, grateful, shared their struggle. We need teachers like you here. The incident underscored stakes. My presence saved lives. I told Jake no. I can't leave now. Hurt flashed, then resignation. Then maybe we need space. He moved out temporarily to a friend's. The separation gutted me. Nights echoing emptiness. Reconciliation efforts faltered. Calls went unanswered. Texts brief. Emily mediated. He's hurting, Dwayne. Give him time. But time bred doubt. Had I chosen wrong? Weeks later, at a school event, Jake appeared. I turned down Seattle. Shock rippled. Why? He smiled sadly. Because I love you more than escape. We embraced, crowd be damned. The decision cost him opportunity, but solidified us. Healing accelerated. Dad joined a PFLAG meeting, awkward but earnest. Learning, he said. Emily hosted a sibling dinner, laughter returning. But scars remained. Jake's resentment simmered occasionally. I sacrificed for you. Guilt nagged, a reminder of trade-offs. As fall arrived, normalcy teased. We planned a quiet commitment ceremony. Family invited. Acceptances varied. Some joyous, others absent. The event, intimate in a garden, symbolized resilience. Vows exchanged. Rings slipped on, amid tears and applause. Post-ceremony, challenges persisted. A promotion at school came with scrutiny. Jake's freelance stabilized but uncertain. Society evolved slowly, headlines of progress mixed with setbacks. In quiet reflection, I pondered paths not taken. Had moving been better? The question lingered, a testament to choice's complexity. Our bond, tempered by fire, endured. But the price, fractured relationships, personal tolls, prompted introspection. Was authenticity's pursuit always justified? The commitment ceremony's afterglow faded into the harsh light of everyday realities, where victories were hard-won and regressions lurked around corners. Jake and I settled into a rhythm, our apartment a sanctuary amid the noise. But echoes of sacrifices resonated. His foregone Seattle dreams, my strained professional life. Do you regret staying? I asked one evening as we cooked dinner. He paused, knife hovering over onions. Sometimes, but regrets are part of life. His honesty stung, a reminder that love didn't erase costs. At school, the diversity initiatives I championed gained traction. A gay-straight alliance formed, students finding voice. Yet opposition persisted. A board member resigned in protest, decrying agenda pushing. Media spotlight returned, interviews probing our story. How do you balance personal truth with public role? A reporter asked. With integrity, I replied, though internally I wrestled. Was exposure exploitation or education? Family integration progressed unevenly. Thanksgiving brought us together, a table laden with turkey and tentative peace. Dad carved, avoiding eye contact with Jake initially. Then, over pie, he asked about Jake's work. Security consulting, keeping people safe. Dad nodded. Like you did in the Marines. Respect that. The exchange, simple yet profound, bridged gaps. Mom beamed, her efforts paying off. Emily's presence added layers. She brought a new boyfriend, Mark, a steady accountant. Happy for you, Jake said genuinely. She smiled. Ditto. Took time, but we're good. Sibling wounds healed, though scars showed in occasional barbs. Society's mirror reflected progress and pitfalls. A Supreme Court ruling bolstered protections, but local hate crimes rose. A neighbor's graffiti, "Go back to hell," defaced our door. Reporting it, police sympathetic but ineffective. "We'll patrol more," they promised. The incident reignited Jake's PTSD, hypervigilance returning. "I feel exposed," he admitted. We installed cameras, a pragmatic defense against intolerance. Moral de l'Emesivald. A colleague confided his own closeted struggles. "Seeing you gives me hope, but fear holds me back." Advising him, I emphasized choice's weight. The price is high, but so is the reward. Yet hypocrisy nagged. Had I fully paid mine? Jake's resentment bubbled during a rough patch. Freelance dried up, bills piled. If we'd moved, I'd have stability. The accusation flared into argument. "You chose to stay," I countered. Hurt words flew, doors slammed. Reconciliation came slow, apologies whispered in darkness. "We're stronger for this," he said, but doubt seeded. Therapy continued, Dr. Ellis guiding. Adversity tests foundations. Rebuild consciously. We did, date nights rekindling spark. A weekend getaway to Michigan dunes offered respite, waves washing worries. "I choose you every day," Jake vowed. Back home, a bombshell. Dad's church split over LGBTQ inclusion. He sided with progressives, surprising us. "Faith evolves," he explained over lunch. The shift, monumental, affirmed our influence. "You opened my eyes, son." Emily's wedding to Mark approached, roles reversed. We attended, supportive. At the rehearsal, echoes of our past haunted. "No drama this time," Jake joked. The ceremony, beautiful, highlighted cycles. Pain to joy. Professionally, I received a teaching award for inclusivity efforts. Acceptance speech. Truth liberates, even when it hurts. Applause thundered, but a heckler shouted dissent. Security escorted him, a stark reminder of division. As years blurred, months since the kiss felt like eons. Our story inspired a local documentary. Participating, we shared unvarnished truths. Betrayals, redemptions. Airing sparked debates, letters pouring in support, criticism. One from a teen. "You saved me from hiding." Impact outweighed exposure's discomfort. Yet personal tolls accumulated. Jake's health suffered, stress-induced migraines. "Worth it?" he mused. I affirmed, but introspection grew. Had our choices been right? The kiss, a catalyst, unraveled lies but wove new complexities. In quiet moments, we reflected. "Life's not black and white," Jake said. "Gray areas define us." Our bond, resilient, proved love's endurance amid chaos. The journey taught harsh lessons. Authenticity demands sacrifice, societal change incremental. Families bend, don't break. Individuals do, but rebuild. As we stood on our balcony, city lights twinkling, hope flickered. "We've paid the price," I said. "Now we live the reward." But was the upheaval justified? Or could discretion have spared the pain? In the end, was coming out at such a cost the morally superior path, or merely one fraught with unnecessary suffering?